So, when you're faced with one of life's most profound challenges, where do you even begin to find your footing? Today, we're going to explore how the rich traditions of Judaism offer a spiritual framework for navigating the journey of living with ALS, a guide for finding resilience, connection, and hope.
You see this line, it's just so powerful, and it's really a cornerstone of Jewish spirituality. But it's not a call to just put on a brave face, not at all. It's a profound invitation to bring our deepest, most honest anguish directly to God. It affirms that even when we're in despair, we are not alone. So that really brings us to the central question here, doesn't it? How can faith offer a real path through such a profound struggle? Moving from that raw emotion of the psalmist, we're going to look at how Jewish thought provides, well, not easy answers, but a meaningful path to walk when the ground beneath you feels like it's shifted completely.
Okay, let's dive in. Getting a diagnosis like ALS, it's a seismic event, right? It just stirs up a storm of emotions. And for so many people, the spiritual journey begins right there in that really turbulent, uncertain space.
And here's something really important. Some traditions might tell you to suppress those difficult feelings, but Judaism, it does the opposite. It makes space for them. Fear, grief, anger, these aren't seen as failures of faith. They're seen as authentic, real parts of being human. They're feelings to be brought into the spiritual conversation, not left at the door. So what happens when all that raw emotion leads you to question God? Well, in Jewish tradition, that's not just okay. It's actually an expression of faith. It's this honest, engaged wrestling with the divine, and it has a long, deep history. You just have to look at the story of Job to see this in action. He faced unimaginable loss, and he doesn't get simple answers for his suffering, not at all. But what he does get is validation for his struggle and for his questions. The story teaches us that wrestling with faith, demanding to be heard, is a legitimate and maybe even holy path to a deeper connection with God. So how do you do this wrestling? Well, the main tool is something called tefillah, or prayer. And this isn't just about reciting words from a book. It's an honest-to-goodness, direct conversation where you can voice everything, your pain, your doubt, and your hope. And here's a beautiful example of how tradition adapts. This spiritual conversation can continue even with physical limitations through assistive technologies like eye-tracking devices. It ensures that vital connection is never, ever broken. Okay, let's talk about identity, because a diagnosis like this can totally rock your sense of self. If we define ourselves by our careers, our roles, or what our bodies can do, what happens when those things change? Jewish thought offers a really powerful alternative foundation for who we are. And that foundation is the concept of B'Tselem Elohim. It's the core belief that every single person is created in the image of God. And what that really means is that your value has nothing to do with what you can do. It's about who you are. It's an inherent sanctity that physical ability can't add to, and that illness can never, ever take away. So look at this comparison. On one side, you have the ways we often define ourselves, our jobs, our physical strength, and honestly, that's a pretty fragile foundation. But on the other side, you have this identity offered in Jewish thought, one that's defined by your inherent sanctity, by your soul, by your connection to God. It's an identity that can endure through anything life throws at you. And listen, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. Look at this real-life example. A person living with ALS used their communication device to fulfill the mitzvah or commandment of supporting their community. Their purpose didn't disappear, it just transformed. It shows how a life of meaning can stay so vibrant and full. This leads us perfectly into another huge pillar of support, the community. In Judaism, the community, or kehillah, is so much more than just a social club. It's a sacred mutual support system, a true lifeline when you need it most. The whole idea of kehillah is built on this principle of mutual responsibility. There's a Hebrew phrase for it, Kol Yisrael arvim ze bazeh. It basically means all of Israel is responsible for one another. So care isn't seen as an act of charity, it's a fundamental obligation that binds everyone together. Now, what's so powerful about this, and you can see it right here, is that it's a two-way street. It's not just about receiving. The community gives, for sure, practical help, emotional support, spiritual connection, but you give back. Your wisdom, your prayers for others, even just your inspiring presence, it all matters. Everyone has a vital role to play. All right, for our last section, let's talk about hope. And I want to be really clear. We're not talking about denying a difficult reality. We're talking about hope as a kind of spiritual anchor that gives you perspective, strength, and a way to find sanctuary in every single moment. A huge source of this hope comes from the belief in something called Olam Haba, the world to come. It's this promise of an existence beyond this one where suffering ends and peace is found. For someone facing daily struggles, this belief can offer a much broader perspective, a quiet comfort that the pain you feel now is not the final word. And this verse from Psalm 16, it just captures that hope so beautifully. It's this vision of eternal peace, this ultimate connection with the divine, that can be such a powerful anchor during life's most difficult storms. But here's the thing. Even with that ultimate hope for the future, Jewish tradition is so deeply focused on the here and now. The real goal is to find holiness and meaning in this moment, in a shared smile, in a silent prayer, in listening to a beautiful piece of music. Faith isn't just about waiting for the next world, it's about making this one holy.
So in the end, this whole journey leaves us with a question that really it touches all of us, no matter what our lives look like. It prompts us to think about our own foundations, the beliefs, the communities, the sources of hope that give us the strength and resilience to find meaning day by day, no matter what we face.